Good evening, everybody. So let us start our lecture this evening. So people who are online, can you hear me? Someone from here, if you please join in Teams and let me know if it is not visible. Okay, can you hear me, people who are online?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. So again, this class is supposed to be face to face. Okay, but I am trying my best to make it virtual also. So I don't have time to look at your chat window. If it is extremely urgent, you have a very valid question, then talk to me. Okay, or send me an email. Otherwise, I may not come back to the chat window. Okay, some students are complaining that I do not see the chat window. It is during my class time, I don't have time to go to the chat window to see. Okay, you are supposed to come here in this classroom. So, but people who are online, that's good. Due to this situation, I appreciate that. But yeah, please try to understand the situation. Okay, so before we start, as usual, let us see our schedule. And this is a very important announcement that you will have. Okay, sorry, you will have you will have your test one next week this time. Okay, so in the schedule it says your test one will be 14 and 15, right? So in some section it is 15 and some section it is for 14. Okay, because when is my test? Today is 18, right? 8, right? The 8 plus 7 is 15. So our schedule will be on 15. Next week, this time, class time. Okay, so there will be no face-to-face class next week. This time, only for this time, during test time. Okay, you will take the test from anywhere. It is your responsibility to ensure that you have a good computer with good uninterrupted internet connection. You can take it from home, you can come here to take the test, you can go to library, or you can go any quiet place. Okay, so the requirement is that you have to have your webcam and internet, and before you start the test. Okay, the announcement that your test will be on your quizzes section in D12. Okay, in D12, before you take the test, it is your section, right? You have to complete this. You see that only 8 people have completed. It will take a few minutes. Okay, it will allow you to install lockdown browser. Lockdown browser means during your test time, you will be allowed to only one screen, D12 screen, and you will not be allowed to go to another tab or open another program to do that. So you will write your program code freehand. So this is why I asked you to practice coding, writing program code. Okay, so unless specifically asked, for instance, there will be mainly at one point you will be asked to write the format of the main method. Exactly. So in C# or Java, at this point you should know what is the format of the main method, right? Okay, otherwise, for instance, you can write the print system.out.println. You can say println. That's only print. It should be fine. Okay, and your minor mistakes or typos will be ignored unless otherwise it is related to the questions. Okay, so you will not be allowed to write pseudocode for this test, only program code. So you will be asked to write a class, so some getter methods, setter methods, constructors, toString methods, main method, okay, you know already how to create an object, right? Create object of a class. Okay, how to use that object to call a method. But you know the toString method is not called explicitly, right? It will be called automatically. You don't need to call the toString method. If you call toString method, then you will miss point. Okay, toString method is not needed to call. Okay, it will be called automatically. Okay, and before you take the test, you must complete this one first. It will allow you to install Lockdown browser. It will take a few minutes, and I encourage you to take it, complete it as soon as possible, so that if you face any issue, you can contact UITS. I found only one student that he reported that his Windows or Mac, I cannot recall, did not allow him to install Lockdown browser. Then he used a different computer. Maybe sometime it may happen that if your computer needs an update or some security issue, okay, so if you use any other like third-party computer, like a company computer, that may have a restriction that you cannot download something. So make sure that you install the program ahead of time, and if you face any issue during taking this one, please contact to UITS directly, not to me. Okay, then I'm not coming to my lecture next week during exam time here, okay, but I will try to be online. Okay, for some, maybe it's not, I'm not sure if you can, but if you have any, if you don't understand the question, whatever you understand, do it. Okay, the test will be for 50 minutes, only 50 minutes. You will have 4 questions to answer, 4 questions to write answer. Okay, yeah, you have to answer 4 questions within 50 minutes. That almost everything I am discussing in this class. If you follow my class, all the lectures, then it should be pretty simple. But this test is not very simple. Unlike 1321, you need to really practice programming, right? You need to know how to declare a class, how to write constructor, how to write getter and setter methods, how to override toString method, how to inherit a class, right? How to override a method. Okay, and then your test, and one more thing, okay, your test will be on D12 section, and it will open before 30 minutes of our class time. So our class time today started 6:30, right? It will start at 6, and it will be ended 30 minutes after the class time. Okay, so then it will be 8:15, right? So you have to start after sometime between 6:01 and 6:14. Exactly. If you cannot start, you can start 6:10. Okay, but please start as early as possible. Okay, you will have only one chance to complete the test. You will not have multiple chances. So anyone has any other questions related to the test? I will make specific announcement in D12 again, okay? And you need to make your, what is that called, ID card ready. You need to show it to your webcam. And what else? In case you want to use any blank piece of paper, there is no calculation, but if you want to use some blank paper, you can use blank paper, and you can show before you start using that. You can show on the monitor. Okay, so if you study, then your test will not be bad, but test will be different from section to section. So don't try to that. You will get allowed to copy from somewhere else. If you do that, and if you got caught, then you will get severe punishment. Better you try yourself. Even if you do mistake, you will get some points. Okay. So anyone has any question? Okay, last announcement test. So if you are allowed to have extended time, either for quiz or test time, please email me. Okay, and I see I always unexpectedly use my policy over here. Still, I am getting email from some students. They do not mention their class course name or section name. I have 375 students. How can I remember which section is student? Should I check section to section to find the student section? No, I will not reply to that. It takes you for a second, right, to mention your section name and course name. Say I'm 1322 section 2. That's it. S2. I will understand. Anyone has any other question? Our test. Okay. Thank you so much. And let us see our schedule. Okay. So according to our schedule, so this week we will start abstract class. Okay, we will start abstract class, but abstract class will not be in your test. Okay, we will have inheritance up to inheritance in your test. Okay, I made it simple. I did not, but abstract class and interface will be your next test. Okay, so in our previous lecture, we are discussing inheritance, right? What is an inheritance? An inheritance is a technique or a process that allows us a new class to absorb an existing class property or members. What are the properties of a class? There are two kinds of properties. A class contains some variables and some methods, functions, right? Functions are called methods. Okay, so we discuss how to create a class and how to inherit a class and how to override a method from one class to another class, right? So in our last class, let me see how far we went through. Give me 1 second, please. Let me see how far I went through and how. We discuss extended, we discuss some of this, we discuss mammal, we discuss this, C#. Okay. Oh, almost I went through everything, but I want to recap something today, starting from our last program. You know, this class is heavily practice oriented. So whatever program we discuss, maybe not more than 10, right? Less than 10 programs, right? We discuss over 6, 7, 8 programs. Practice those programs. Okay. So that's C# and Java. Give me 1 second, my mom is calling me again. Sorry, I'm done. Okay, so in our last lecture, we saw that how to declare a mammal class, right? And then we inherited the mammal class into our dog class, right? And we created dog instances, some dog objects, right? So as we know that we learned that there is a top level class, the greatest grandparent class, that is called an object class, that every class by default inherits. Okay, so even if we write this or do not write this, okay, it is obvious. It is obvious. So if you do not even write this, this is obvious. Okay, so in Java we use extends keyword, right? Instead of in C++, C sharp, we use colon sign, and also in C++ we use colon sign. In Java we use extends keyword, and in C sharp and C++ we use colon sign. This is the inheritance sign. Okay, so inheritance has the greatest advantage of reusability, right? One class can enjoy the features of an existing class, right? The old class features remain unchanged, right? So we learned that not all properties are inheritable, right? So which are inheritable? Let us understand which are not inheritable. The properties that are private, that are declared as private, are not inheritable, right? What are inheritable? Protected, public, and default. Default only Java has default, access modified. Okay, and public are accessible from any other class that inherits this class. Okay, and we learn about protected, right? Protected member is, okay, let us do private member is itself, only the class itself. I only know only what is in my mind. That is my private. Okay, if I make a plan, good or bad, if I do not disclose to anyone, still I know it, right? Okay, that is our private thing, right? Okay, then if I tell this my plan to my family, only for my family, that is in package, that is default. Okay, and if I tell it to my friends of my family, to other people who have connection to my family members, that is protected. Okay, protected goes down. Okay, and if I tell everybody what is in my mind, right, then that is what? Public. So you understand the difference between this? Okay, and see, only Java has default. Default means if I do not say anything, public, private, or protected, then that's within the package, within the project, within the package. Sorry, within the package. Okay, that within the family. Okay. Okay. Another thing that we learned that in order to, so for instance, if so this is my main method. This is in let us go with Java. In Java, so this is, sorry. So this is my mammal class, right? It by default Java, right? Is this Java? Okay. It, what class it extends? Okay, offset O in uppercase in Java, and C sharp is lowercase. Okay, and so this is if my mammal class has, so this is by default, even if you do not do this, this is by default. Okay, so my mammal class has some methods like drink, eat, move, get, bath. So these are the methods that are declared within mammal class, right? So then we learned that if we want to redefine this, if we want to extend this mammal class by another class, then what do we need to do? If we have a scope to redefine, or is called override, okay, those existing method. So in Java, so if we write override, then we use override annotation. So even if you do not write override, this is by default in modern languages, okay. And we learned that in C#, how do you override a method? Who told me? Somewhere here I did mistake last week. So we use new, right? New keyword. So new, we say new it, so this method, that will be overridden. Okay, that means redefined. Okay, so this is also toString method, we also override. The toString method is originally defined where? Can anyone please tell me? Where is the toString method originally defined? Huh? Yeah, in the object class. Okay, the toString method is defined within object class. In C#, we use T is in uppercase and string is in uppercase. In Java, we use T is in lowercase. So the format of overriding toString method is different language to language in Java and C#. Okay. So if we run this program, we got output, and if we run this program, okay, we got almost same output. Now let us start our something new today, okay? The first thing is that we found that there are some advantages of inheritance, okay? But did you notice any disadvantage or limitation of inheritance? Anyone can tell me any limitation or of inheritance? You should tell me on at least. Did you notice any limitation of inheritance? Yes. Okay. One of the limitation, there is modern languages like Java and C#, that you cannot have more than one parent class. Okay, but C++ allows this. Okay, that is called multiple inheritance. Okay, whenever a class contains more than one parent class, that is called multiple inheritance, and that is not allowed in C++. For instance, this one is not allowed in Java and C#. Okay, so what is the problem over here? You see the run method, it has twice, both in main class and wolf class. Okay, but we know that my man runs in a way that is different than a wolf runs, right? So when we have this run method in both classes, something like this, a method in both classes, then if we have multiple inheritance, the problem will occur that it will be confusing which run method it is. C++ has an operator that is called scope operator, double column, two double columns. That is used to define that whose method is coming, which class is coming, the method is coming from which class. But Java and C# does not have that operator, so that does not allow, so it will give you around this, it will give you an error. So actually that this will say, this will make you an error. So this is one limitation, right? Okay. Anything else? Do you notice or remember or recall any other limitation? I like to say at least one other limitation. Okay, by the way, a class can have multi-level classes. That means a class can have parent, and parent can have multi-grandparent. Okay, like this. Okay, dog class can inherit mammal class, and Labrador class inherit dog class. Okay, and a mammal also, for a mammal class we can have multiple subclasses. That is good. Okay, multiple subclasses is good, but multiple parents is not good, right? Okay, so we need one more limitation. Yes, is there a limitation? Are you talking about here? This thing? Okay, the class has your name. What is the key question? Dog? Any dog in this? Any dog in this? So if you say grandparent, then I need to go to this slide. This slide, right? Okay. So your question may be, let me guess. Your question is that does the Labrador class will inherit properties from a mammal? Okay, if it is inheritable, then it will come to dog class, right? And if it is dog class, it makes it inheritable. Okay, it makes it public again. Then it can be inheritable here. We will see. That is a one kind. You are close. You are very close to another problem. Okay, we are talking about that. So that we are very close. So anyone has any other limitation of inheritance in mind? Hey, everybody wake up, please. So I like this class to be interactive. Okay. Yeah, please be cooperative, okay? Cooperative. And so far I am discussing at the middle of object-oriented principle. If you understand this, then you are likely to be easier. Okay? So, do you notice any other limitation? No? Oh yeah, that is another limitation. He said that we inherit property from our parents, right? But our parents cannot inherit property from child, right? From children. I think what is like normal rule of USA and other countries. It is our obligation, moral and religious and other obligation, right? To take care of our parents, right? But maybe, I don't know what, in my country, I'm from Bangladesh, I'm a Muslim also. So in our religion and in our country, we have moral obligations, moral and ethical and religious obligation to take care of our parents. But our parents cannot. The government is good, they are doing to make a rule that we have to take care of our parents. If I do not take care of my parents, then I will be penalized. Okay? But there is no straightforward rule. Our parents will be able to inherit our property. That is a good rule. But how do you say? Anyone knows that rule? Anyone knows the rule? How do we use it? Can our parent inherit property? No? Okay, so if it does not, then So then maybe the programmer did not think that way also, since it's not true. Okay, what else? Let me tell you a story. Okay. So sometimes we give money to our beloved one, right? A younger brother or younger sister or our children, right? Or someone we give them money, gift, right? Okay. For instance, if I give money to my brother or sister, younger brother or sister, okay, I am giving him money, $1 or okay, and then I can tell him, okay, whatever you can do this with this money, enjoy it, okay. Then the next day he is asking me again money. Next day he is asking me again money. Then maybe at some point I will tell him, what are you doing with this money? He said, no, I did not do anything. I did not do anything with that money. I am not doing anything with this money. At some point I will be mad, right? Why are you not using the money I'm giving, right? Even if I give him a single penny every day, right? Will you be happy if they do not use that money? Do you understand my point? Will not be happy, right? If someone inherits my property, okay, but if he or she does not use that money, use that property, right? We will not be happy, right? So, in inheritance, there is no guarantee that our child class will use some of these properties that are inheritable. There is no guarantee in normal inheritance. So should that be considered as a limitation? Huh? No? Yes. Maybe that is inheritance can skip the generation?
Yeah.
No. So for instance, that is a multi-level inheritance questions. So if I do not inherit my father property, can my child get that property from me? No. There is no way, right? If I do not have this, then how can my children can get this, right? Okay, the limitation is that I'm talking about. There is no guarantee that a child class will use the base class or father class property.
So even if the child inherits it and doesn't use it, then the grandchild could have it. So I guess it's actually an advantage that you could have something that you don't use, because you could then give it to your child.
No. So you are misleading that. We told that through the inheritance, when we inherit something, that base class does not lose anything, right? Like firing a candle, firing 1,000 candles from a candle. Okay, making light from one candle, from one candle to 1,000. The original candle light does not go down, right? So if I inherit something, so you say I do not use this, right? But still my children will be able to inherit that, use that? Yes. But my concept is that if I do not use it, for instance, I'm telling you that quickly in a second. The concept is that if we are, for instance, we are overriding the eat and drink over here, right? We are overriding the child class. If we do not override this, then that means that we are trying to say that our all dog elements drink in a way that other mammals drink. So if we see that for instance, let me see this one. We have our mammal class, right? If we have multiple classes like dog, cat, and cow, so do all mammals drink or move same way? No, right? So this is what need to be done. So the movement should be different in dog class then should be different, that should be different in cat class, and that should be different in cow class. You understand? That it would be more appropriate to reality, right? Otherwise, can we say that all mammals move in the same way? No. All mammals eat or drink in the same way? No, right? Okay. So the concept from starting from these two, okay. So we got at least two limitations, right? One of this is that a class cannot have multiple parent class, right? Multiple base classes. That is limitation. That limitation is resolved in programming languages by using interface. We will discuss interface in our next lecture. Okay. And another problem is that we found that limitation is found that there is no guarantee that where is my program? We said that there is no guarantee that the inheritance ensures that the overridden, that is the inherited property, will be used. For instance, I'm going to tell that if I get rid of these methods, like I want to, if I, for instance, get rid of, so making comments means get rid of, right? So still my program will be running. This means I am not enjoying inherited property. Okay, same thing. This is in Java, right? Is this in Java? Yes, this is Java, and this is also true in C#. Okay, I'm sorry, not here. Here. Okay, before I okay. So said that even if I do not have, that means what I'm doing, I'm telling that all mammals move same way. Okay, all mammals eat same way, no matter if it is a dog or it is a cat. Okay, so at this point, let us make another class. We want to give the name of this class as cat. So how do we make that? So I have dog class over here. So let us make another cat. So then it will be cat. So yeah, please give attention, a little bit maybe tricky here, but if you understand today's class, then you will understand a lot. Okay. Same thing here. So I want to take off. This is my cat class. This is my cat. This is my cat. This is within my cat. And I'm doing this. This program still should run. Okay, unexpected end of the file. Okay. My dog class is here. Okay, so it needs to be ended here. Okay. So I created another class. Okay, cat is a mammal class. Okay, and let us do it here also. Here is my dog class, and I want to make another class, that is my cat class. So simple, I will just copy and paste. I will make it cat. So this is my cat class, this is my cat constructor. This is my cat constructor, this is my overloaded cat constructor, and I'm getting this. Okay, this is from my cat class, 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 and I don't need this. So still my program should run. Okay, what did I do over here? Let me show you. I created another class, another subclass of the mammal. Okay, just within same thing. Did you understand that? What did I do? I copied and pasted the dog classes whole thing, okay, and then I made another class, just cat class. So for instance, here if I see this, if I call this method give bath, okay, then with the dog object, then I should see this give bath, this method. And if I call this give bath method from a cat object, then it should show me this. So in academia, we will discuss the concept with just this simple method. Okay, if you understand this concept, then in your interview you will be asking like this type of question, small. Okay, if you understand this basic concept, they assume that you should be able to write this give bath method for 1,000 lines, whatever needed. Okay, so now what I want to do, so far we created only dog instances, right? Only dog objects, right? One thing is that, so a dog, for instance, the dog object or cat, we create virtual or imaginary dog. Okay, we are not creating actual dog. Only God can create actual animal, right? Are you creating actual animal? We are simulating, right? So all objects that we create, that virtual thing. Okay, remember that. Okay, so here let us create now everybody please give attention. Okay, so I will ask you some questions. If you understand today's lecture and next lecture, you will understand, okay, 80% of object-oriented programming principles. Okay, so today let's say cat C1 equal to new cat. Okay, so if I say C1 dot, you see that C1 dot move, it's a move method over here. So if I run this program, this line, the last line, what will be my output? Can you guess? What will be my output? Okay, the last thing was, we see that eat, right? So let me call eat method. C1 dot eat. So these three lines, you see that? M1 dot, let me take these out, these three. Let us understand these three. So if you understand these three statements, state number 44, 45 and 46, that will be great. So what will be my output for this one, m1.eat? Everybody see this? Then my output will be mammal age. Whatever I have defined or declared in the mammal class, that will be executed here, right? If I call d1 dog cat eat, my d1 is a dog object, you see that? Once I hover my mouse over here, it is showing D1 is a dog object, right? Then it will be calling dog eat, and then what will happen then if I call this c1.eat? It will say cat eat, right? It will be calling the eat method of the cat class. You see the eat method of the cat class. You understand this? Okay. Now same thing this is in Java, and same thing we can do it exactly same thing in C#. But all of this code we will write within main method, right? Understand that? We will write this within main method. Okay, and it will work. Same thing. This is in C#. It is called D1 eat. Okay, so that the dog, within dog, let me see if I overloaded the dog eat. Okay, that's one good thing. Okay, now everybody give attention to me. So what I was expecting that I was expecting that it would show me dog eat method, right? But is it showing me dog's eat method? No, it is showing me mammal's eat method. Okay, the reason is that within the dog class I have not overwritten the eat method. So what it is doing, since it did not find its own property, so it is going to check whether he has inherited this property. So it is calling the eat method from its parent. So who is the parent over here? Mammal, right? Okay, so mammal class. You see that I did not have overwritten, that means is commented out, right? That means I do not have this. If I commented out, that means I did not have overwritten this method. Okay, then so what it is doing, it is getting this eat method from the mammal class. You understand? Okay, so this is a good point. We will transit from normal class to abstract class for the next 15 minutes. Everybody give attention, please. Okay, yeah, you can trace out. You can have a 2 minutes or 1 minute break, but I like everybody to look at my skill, not your skill, for the next 15 minutes. Okay. Okay, and same thing will happen here also, that in Java, if I do not, so it is calling dog, but if I do not override dog eat method, for instance, if I do not override this like this and up to this, okay, then it will show me here mammal eat instead of dog eat. Mammals eat instead of dog eat. So everybody see this screen either? Okay, now if you understand this 5 minutes, you will understand a lot. Okay, now whatever you have learned, that there is no guarantee that, okay, it is expected that the child class would rewrite the overridden method or enjoy the methods differently, or we say override. Okay, but there is no guarantee in normal inheritance that the child class will override that, okay, or enjoy that. Okay, so that is a limitation, that is the limitation of normal abstract class. Okay, so normal class. So now the remedy is to ensure that the child class will override a method or something that is inherited from the parent class by making that class as an abstract class. Okay, so now for instance my mammal class is a normal class, right? So if I make this class, want to make this class abstract, that means for instance let us make this only one method. So can I add one more extra method, or let us make this method abstract. So how do we make a method abstract? Just writing abstract, abstract keyword in front of a method. If we type in abstract keyword, okay, then this method becomes abstract. Now it has different rule. The first rule is that a abstract method cannot have a body, even it is empty. An abstract method cannot have a body. This mammal class. An abstract method cannot have a body. So this is empty body, right? It cannot even have empty body. So you see that it is showing error. Okay. So this is the abstract method. So when it does not have a body, then it needs to be ended with a semicolon. What is it? Then mammal class. Abstract public. What is this says? The abstract method in the mammal class can only be defined as an abstract class. Okay. What are the rules? First rule is that an abstract method cannot have a body, even an empty body. So what is an empty body? So if you put like this, an empty parenthesis, this is called an empty body. So this is the good thing. Remember, if you have a good test question in the past semester, I mentioned this clearly, but still a number of students this mistake. They wrote a class method, an abstract method, and still they give empty body or body. You will lose point, you will not get any point because it is showing an error, right? Okay, if you give a body, try to give a body of an abstract method, no matter what you write, or even if you make an empty. Okay, so then what do we need to do? We need to have a semicolon. Okay, now still it is showing me an error, right? The third rule is that if a class contains an abstract method, then then the class must be declared as an abstract. Okay, then I need this class, mammal class, must be abstract. Okay, so now this error is gone, right? You see that as soon as I said my abstract, mammal class is abstract, then the error is gone, right? So this is the third rule, right? If a class contains an abstract method, then the class must be declared as an abstract class. Okay, then let us come. Then now is coming point. Then what is an abstract class? A class that contains an abstract method. That is called an abstract class. So what is an abstract class? Now the question is that, okay, what are the properties? An abstract class, first restriction, there are some restriction of an abstract class. For instance, an abstract class cannot create an object. An abstract class cannot be instantiated. That is the another rule. So in this program, if it is not showing any error message, right? Here, But if I run it, try to run it, it will give me an error message, some error message. Where the first error message is coming from? You see the line number 31. What did I do? I wanted to create mammal instance. But can I create that? No. So a mammal here is an abstract. That means it is barren. It cannot be instantiated. It cannot be used to create, instantiate an object. Even it contains a constructor. So we have mammal constructor, right? Do we have mammal constructor? Even if we have mammal constructor, so let me say to make a mammal constructor here. Public mammal. So this is a mammal empty constructor, right? Still, it will give me an error. Even it has a constructor, the problem is that mammal class cannot be instantiated. Okay? So we cannot have these statements. This, we cannot have this, we cannot have this, we cannot have this. So still then we cannot have this, we cannot have this. Then we cannot have this, right? And also we cannot have this. So then it should, now it should. Okay, class dog extend mammal. Okay, dog is not abstract and does not override. Okay, now it's good point. Now another point is that when we have this method, any abstract method, okay, so it is not defined yet, right? So then the rule of thumb is that it must be declared in its child class. So the child class will say how the it method will be implemented. Okay, so in my child class, so where is my child class? My dog class. So here in my dog class, it needs to have this it method. So you see that it method that is overridden, that is hidden. So it is showing me error over here. Okay, but other will not give me error because those are not abstract. Okay, so now if I run this program, it will be good. Do you understand something new? I will review that again in our next lecture. Okay, but I like you. Okay, we have one more lecture right before our test. Okay, I like to quickly recap. So what is an abstract class? A class that contains an abstract method. Okay, a class that contains at least one abstract method, that is called an abstract class. If a class is an abstract class, that cannot be instantiated to create an object of that kind. Okay, and if a class contains an abstract method, that class must be declared as an abstract class. Okay, but its opposite is not true, is not required, because if a class is an abstract, then it may not contain any abstract class, any abstract method. Okay, so in my it, if I do not take out the it, okay, then what will happen? Okay, so the problem is that I use override and I need to look at double right. Duck class, is this the duck? Yeah, so I need to take out double right because it is not there. Now it should work. $253. Okay, 253, right? Okay, the problem is coming. Eat override 253. Okay, this one, since it is not there, so I need to take rid of this. Is working. Okay, so what we have learned over here today, that if a class is an abstract class, that it cannot be instantiated, right? So why do we need to have an abstract class? The question may arise, right? Okay, to ensure that, so if we make this method, any of this method, for instance if method, an abstract method, let us put as a star over here, so that means we are abstract. So if we make it as an abstract method, that means we are ensuring that all of the classes that inherit this class must be defined this is method in its own way. Okay, and that is kind of assurance that an inherited property will be used or redefined or be utilized. Okay, but when we make a class, the limitation is that an abstract class, then it cannot be instantiated to create an object. Okay, that another thing is that a abstract class is 0 to 100% abstract. That means an abstract class may contain all methods that are abstract, or at least one method abstract, or no method abstract. There is no, so if you have, even if we do not have any abstract method in a class, still we can make that an abstract. Okay, but if we have at least one method abstract, we cannot make that class non-abstract. So then if we make it abstract, that we cannot instantiate it. Okay, maybe we got something new today. Okay, maybe it is difficult, but before you come to next lecture, please try to understand at least the last 30 minutes of today's lecture. Okay, then if you understand this abstraction, then you will understand at least 50% of object-oriented programming things, every 60%. Okay, that is the hardest part of object-oriented programming concept. Anyone has any question? Okay, please. Okay, so this is in Java. So in Eclipse, in C#, we have same thing. We have same program, but I want to actually, okay, and say abstract, and we make the it method abstract, right? It method abstract, and when we make abstract, then we need to do this. Okay, 97, the symbol it okay, so 97 abstract public. Okay, 238, so is it line number 238 showing me an error? 238. Okay, that's good. In C sharp it is different, so we need to not use new, but we need to public override. Dog is not an inherited class. Then again 119, right? 119. Okay, dog D does not implement inherited. Okay, dog does not have eat method because I take out the eat over here. I need to do this. Okay, now let us see. 166, still again 166. Eat method, probably I don't need new. Okay, instead of new I need public override. Okay, C sharp has different rule. So if you have a method abstract, then in C sharp you need to write abstract keyword like this way, public abstract. But other methods, those are not abstract, we use, in order to override that, we use new keyword. So this is quite different in C sharp, but in Java it is pretty same way. Okay, but this is the difference in C sharp. People who are taking C sharp lab, please remember that it will give an error when you have new. Okay, so I have written this program both in Java and C sharp. Everybody please practice this, okay? And in your test you will get a question like this. Anyone has any question? Okay, people who are online, has anyone any question?
No, sir.
Okay, but this is a difficult thing, is critical, and it needs your own effort, practice. Okay, so I have my programs available in my Replit account. Please copy this program to your account and play with it. Okay, so if you understand this question, then you should be good to understand our next lecture that we will discuss. This should work. Let us make simple. So this class is heavily practice oriented. Okay, so everybody please practice. And then today I discussed some difference in overriding between C++ and C sharp and Java. Okay, remember this. In C sharp, so we can make. Okay, so if you don't have any question, that's good, and thank you so much. Okay, one more thing. So the lecture slide for I did not use slide yet. Open the slide. The lecture slide for abstract class is uploaded here. Okay, you can download this lecture slide, and then next lecture I will go through with lecture slide. Okay, but I gave you an idea. Okay, of abstract class. Then when you go to the lecture slide, then it should be easy. Sometimes I don't need to see the slides. Anyone has any question? Okay, thank you so much.
Have a good day, Professor.
You too.
First test still this week or is it?
No, it is 17 on next week this time.
Oh, it's the 17th?
No, not 17. Next week, what day? Next week this time?
Is it online or is it in class?
It will be online. So at the beginning of this today's lecture, I discussed.